Hey guys! So today you and I are going to talk about being a culture fit. So let's get into it. So today we're going to touch on a very leading question. The specific question was actually, Fredrik, don't you just think that being a culture fit and culture fits is just a big lie? And I'm going to say no. Hard no on that one. Big no. No. It's not a lie. Culture fit is, I will argue, the most important, one of, I'm not going to say the most, but one of the most, top 2, 3 at least in my world, of the things that make or breaks whether or not somebody's going to get a job or not. For sure it is. And the reason is I had a bit of a discussion with this person because we didn't really see eye to eye on this. But and I kind of hate this. I should interview this person because it's unfair that I get to say my piece and then I really relay somebody else's words on their behalf instead of having them here sit and say their own stuff, right? But that's the situation we find ourselves in now, isn't it? So basically, the argument I was making here was that the reason why I don't think that this is a lie is simply because being a culture fit, at the fundamental level, it is something that dictates pretty much everything within human society. What I mean by that is that it is the thing that dictates what your response is going to be to different people. To put it in a simple way, the culture fit problem is the same like the culture fit is the exact same process that you take when you pick your spouse, your friends, the people you look up to. It is you as an emotional level having a gut feeling or having chemistry with another person, and based on that chemistry making a decision of some sort. The only difference is that we're now in a professional context where your mindset might be different from when you're picking a spouse or picking a friend or something of that nature. But it's still the same process because you are a human, my friend. At least I assume so, unless you're an Apache helicopter or a basketball or whatever people are identifying as these days. But you are likely like a sentient being, and as a sentient being, you have different preferences in people. It's that simple. And if you have different preferences in people, some people get very affected by this, like you are might be very inspired by your emotions, and some people are less inspired, but there's always a certain value system that you have that is associated with different personality traits of a human being. It doesn't matter, I mean the simplest ones, I mean if you have a look at things like people being rejected, just take that for positions, everything from being the wrong gender to being the wrong color to wearing the wrong clothes to having the wrong personality, all of these things that you like, because there is a decision being made. Otherwise, everybody who came into the office the first person who got there would be the first person to get the job if there was no preference in people. And there is a preference, and it doesn't always have because let's just remember here that it doesn't always come down to skill level, and that's also a very nice and subjective thing because how do you determine skill level? It's very hard. Not just in IT, this is just generally true. It's very hard to just very objectively say, oh, this person is extremely much more skilled than this person, unless there's a really big gap. But if it's kind of a close call, it comes down to gut feeling. And gut feeling is the thing that I've been telling you. That is the most important. A good gut feeling is usually the thing that makes or breaks your interview. For sure it is. Unless you completely failed. I mean, even if you sort of fail or sort of succeed on the code test, a good gut feeling or a good culture fit can actually weigh up that. I know that for a fact. Anywho, the person then responds and says, well, I don't really agree because, I mean, if I don't really care so much if I'm hiring very nice people. Like, as an example, if I were to go to a doctor, then I would not care if they're nice to me. I just want that to be the best doctor ever, and they're gonna give me a good evaluation and help cure my whatever problem I'm having, right? And that was the basic counter argument. And the thing that I actually wrote back on this was that, but my friend, you've just gone through this exact thing that I was saying. You have a value system. That's exactly what you have. You, as an individual, you have just claimed that you feel that the most important thing about your doctor is not that he or she is a nice person, just that they are extremely skilled. But that's you. That's you evaluating something. But think about it from another perspective. How many people do you think, like, how likely is it that you're going to find the best doctor in the world for every single person? Well, not everybody who's hiring somebody is going to just sit around and not hire anybody who isn't like top notch in the medical field. There are varying range of doctors, which means that there's a range to how good do you have to be and how good of a culture fit do you have to be. Because imagine this, when a company hires a doctor, as an example, doesn't have to be a doctor, even if it's the world's best medical professional, like hands down, just admittedly the best, and let's just for the sake of argument say that this person is extremely eccentric, extremely asocial, has issues and so forth. Now, if nobody wants to work with this douchebag, the company is going to have to make a way of, the hospital is going to have to make a way of, okay, nobody wants to work with them, so what is the cost of us hiring this person? Because if you have such a person in a company, it might be the case that you're actually losing out on other staff or things that will actually slow down, even if this person is highly proficient. And that's the same thing in software development. If you think that you can just hire the smartest and best developers in the world and leave it at that without any type of personal chemistry, you are kidding yourself. There are multiple occasions where people who, although they're very clever, haven't been able to collaborate in an efficient manner, and differences in politics and belief system has led to a bit of fallout. An example is Node.js and IO.js. There was a fork there for a while, if you remember. There was quite a lot of political differences there. How many times have the Linux Foundation been in a kind of political situation because of people not behaving correctly or being in line and not having all their stuff in, well, not all being on the same page and so forth. So these things do matter. And as I said to him, this is you, like saying that this is the most important thing. And let me just kick back a question to you. I didn't really get an answer to this one. How would you hire your nanny, like for your kids? Someone is going to take care of your kids. How would you apply? How would you test such an individual? Now, I will make a bold statement here, and I will argue that, most people will have a preference in the sort of person who's going to take care of their kids. But what are you going to base your evaluation on? Are you going to base it on years of experience? Are you going to base it on academics, like as we were saying about the doctor? Because in this person's mind, the academics and being like the experience, that's the most important thing for a doctor, right? But is it for a nanny? Because if you might have the smartest nanny in the world, but if she's a really shitty person, how is that going to influence your kids? Because I will argue that there's quite a lot of people taking care, daycare teachers and nannies and so forth around the world who are not the world's smartest people. They don't have to be, because they're really nice people. And there, I will argue that most people who hire somebody who's going to take care of their kids is going to measure two things: their gut feeling, or what they like to call personal chemistry, because those are the sorts of things that most people would associate a good nanny with. I mean, if you have this chemistry, if you trust this person, if you feel comfortable with this person, then you feel more inclined to trust them enough to take care of your child. And this is exactly the thing I want you to take away from this. Culture fit is subjective, but it's also the thing that, as I said, it's not just about you being if your definition of culture fit is that you're just really nice and everybody likes you, that's not culture fit. Culture fit is that you, given that exact company, in one company it might be that you're the nicest person in the world, in another company it might be that you're sociable enough, a little bit eccentric maybe, but you can get the job done. It's about fit. That's the key word here, culture fit. Fitting into a given context. That's the thing that we're talking about here. And I absolutely don't think that this is a lie. I think that this is one of the most influential things in the world, if not the most influential thing. It is the thing that makes you vote for a specific candidate. It's the thing that, as I said, that you pick your friends based on this. And it's subjective as fuck. It is. And every single human being on this planet has a preference in people. Therefore, culture fit does actually matter, because if you can align with another person's value system or their, like, what they perceive to be good traits, the better that you are at doing that, the more likely they are going to be to like you. And that is the most unfair thing in the world, but it does matter a lot. So have a great day.